Hello again, friends, and welcome to another episode of Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. This week, I'd like to follow up on what we started last week with our wine shopping network. Except this week, we're going to move on from wine, and we're going to call this now the spirits shopping experience. And my goal tonight is to share with you a number of small things, a little potpourri, if you will, of things that you might choose to put on your Christmas shopping list for your friends who enjoy spirits. So you can see as you look here on the table, there's a little bit of a mishmash of everything. So I'm going to try to focus on things that I think would be a good idea for you to purchase for your friends who are into whatever spirit it is that they like, because with everything that I have here on the table, we'll cover just about any spirit that you might encounter for the holiday. So with that said, welcome again. It's good to see you all, and welcome to some of our new members who have joined us recently. Cheers. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. So let me start out by saying what I'd like to review with you tonight is really a lot of just small items, things that would be very thoughtful for you to get for your friends who enjoy spirits. And they don't all have to be, it doesn't have to be a bottle of vodka, it doesn't have to be a bottle of bourbon. It could be something related to that if you know they enjoy spirits in general and they enjoy having cocktails. My purpose tonight is really not to get into cocktail making and different spirits, but really to talk about the, quote, the infrastructure, if you will, and the support services that are needed to provide a good experience with the spirits that you may share during the holiday and throughout the year. So I'd like to start out with the, quote, intellectual side of things and start out with two books that I would recommend that you could buy for someone who is, that you know is really into spirits or who may be looking to get into it. The first one, and I have shared this with you before, is one called The Drunken Botanist. And it's the plants that create the world's great drinks. It is a New York Times bestseller, and it is a fantastic read. You might think of it as a little bit boring when you look at it, but it's about anything on this planet we as human beings have found a way to turn into ethanol. And believe me, there are things in here that you will read that will actually astound you. Even if you're not into spirits, there is so much information and background stories here related to spirits. But there also are quite a few good cocktail recipes in here with some really well-known concoctions and some things that might classify as a little bit off the beaten trail. So I would highly recommend, if you can, this book I know is still in print, whatever source you want to use to buy it, The Drunken Botanist would make a fantastic gift for somebody who is into spirits for the holiday. The next book that I would like to share with you is a book called The 12 Bottle Bar. And The 12 Bottle Bar is a book that recommends the 12 essential spirits and mixers and things like vermouth, etc., that you need to have in your bar to make the most prevalent cocktails around the world. It's a toolkit, a recipe book. And I'm reading from the back of the book here, beginning with one irresistible idea, a complete home bar of just 12 key bottles. And it will show you through those 12 bottles how to make over 200 different types of cocktails for anyone who may be so inclined to share a cocktail with you. So this is another one that is $15. You might be able to get it even a little bit cheaper on Amazon. The 12 Bottle Bar. My son actually had it. I saw it and I thought, wow, this is something that I need to have in my library of spirits materials. So you can see I don't just like to sip them, which is always good. I even enjoy reading about them and learning as much as I can about them. So The Drunken Botanist and The 12-Bottle Bar are two books that I would highly recommend as gifts to either stuff a stocking or to just give as an outright gift to a friend or a family member who is really into the whole cocktail world. So those are the only, there are many others you can buy. I've had books in my library this thick that talk about the history of spirits, the background, just about gin, just about whiskey, just about bourbon. You can buy whatever book you want. These are more generalist style books that I think would be very nice in someone's Christmas and holiday gift reception. So I don't have all the equipment that you have. When it comes to drinking wine, you've got corkscrews and this and that. Spirits are you kind of open a bottle, get a glass, and you start mixing. So as a result, what you see on the table here are a lot of different glasses and things that I think, and I'm trying to make this a presentation and information gathering that will allow you to go out and purchase a gift for someone in case you're stuck and don't know what to get them. So let me turn next to glassware. And there are quite a few items of glass here on this table right now. I'm going to start with ones that I think will lend themselves to a quick purchase, that you can just go to Boscov's or some other department store. And if you want to specialize, you can start to go onto the internet even more and find these types of glasses. So let me move this mixer out of the way. I'm going to start with this one that I have right here. In this glass is a little Courvoisier. And at the end, I'll have some suggestions of actually bottles. If you don't want to get into all this and you know the person has all this stuff and their bar is well stocked, well, I'll just give you some recommendations for things that they can pour into a glass. So what I have here is a little Courvoisier. Just that dinner, nice follow-up to it, nice and warm. This is called a brandy snifter. And you can see by the globe shape in the glass, you can get these twice the size of this one. This is just a simple one that I have. I don't even remember the price where I got it. I know I have about 4 of them. You want to have 4 to 6 in case you have company and everybody's into the same thing. Or if you don't have any friends, you can go buy one. Or you can buy a pack of 4 and just wash them later. But the reason for this one being a brandy snifter is 2. The thing that you want to do with brandy is try to warm it up a little bit with your body heat. Just a little bit. And this allows you to cup that glass the way I am here and to warm it up. And the brandy's warm enough as you take it down, believe me. And it also, because of the big, the aroma in there is the vanilla and the little, actually a little bit of oak, because brandy, as you know, is made from some wine. A little caramel, fantastic smell. You only get that because of the aerodynamics, believe it or not, in the glass. And that bulb shape, that's very good. So I would highly recommend, if you know you can drink other things out of here. You can drink a whiskey sour out of here. You can drink a lot of things. It's best for brandy. And you can get a set of brandy snifters. You want to drop and impress somebody, you drop $100. You want to go to Home Goods or Boscov's, you get them for $20. The point is, it's the thought. So if you know your friend likes brandy and you need to buy them a gift, go buy them 4 brandy snifters. So that's glass number 1. So moving on away from brandy, there are a lot of people who like to drink martinis. And I'm about to show you 3 different ideas that I think are unique ideas for buying martini glasses. I'm going to start with the more classic design, but not the classic glass. This one is made of copper. This one, believe it or not, is one I like to use outdoors in the summer, because if you knock it over, it's just going to make a noise. It's not going to break. But if you chill it up front, it is an excellent, excellent way. The copper does not tarnish the alcohol. You can see here it's the stand-up style. And these are made by that OG company or others that, you make the gin mules in these copper. These are really heavy. They make an excellent vessel for a martini or anything that you want to put, any cocktail that you want to put in a martini style glass. So you can look for these on the internet. These are the copper finish style that you can get, and they do discolor after a while, but that's not what's important. Then there are these style. This is the style that Doc G, true confession here, this is what I drink my martinis and my Negronis from. This is like a paperweight on the bottom. You could actually hurt yourself and use this as a paperweight. But what I do with these is I freeze them. I put them in my refrigerator, in my freezer, and when I want to have a martini or a Negroni, it's deep chilled because it's very thick, and it helps to keep the drink cold. Cocktails are best had and consumed as cold as possible. They don't have to be, they don't have to be totally cold all the time, but they have to be chilled, and it's important that you chill your glass. And then finally, this other martini style glass is a little bit thinner on the bottom, and you have a little bit thinner glass, and you notice this is very big. This is probably 8 to 10 ounces. I don't recommend anything too powerful to fill this glass, but my point is, with all three of these glasses, if you're looking to find a gift for someone that is in the martini range, who likes to drink and have cocktails out of a martini glass, this is a great gift. You can get all styles of martini glasses, and usually they come in sets of 4 or 6. So good luck in your search for martini glasses, and let me move them out of the way. Now there's another glass that you can use. This is one that I got as a gift a number of years ago, and this is called a Norlens, Norlens, and I'll post this. This is a whiskey glass that has got a vapor lock in the middle of it. You can't see it here, but there are 2 levels of glass. There's one on the inside and then one on the outside, and there's a layer of glass to keep your hand from warming it up too much, which is also good. And it is meant for single malt scotches. You can use it for bourbon. You can use it for anything. These are very delicate. They're a little bit on the more expensive side, but they're meant to sip whiskey out of. You can drop a little ice cube in it, and they make a fantastic, they come in, I think, 2 packs, and they're called Norlens. And I will find them, and I promise to post them for you, but they make an excellent gift. True confession, don't put them in the dishwasher. The dishwasher will break them. They're they look very heavy, but they're very, very sensitive. So that is a glass that you can use called the Norlens whiskey glass. And you can single malt, Jameson, whatever kind of whiskey you like, bourbon, they're all equally available to put in the glass. So I'm really not done with the glassware, so let me continue. As I said here, there's a whole lot on the table. This is just your classic rocks glass. And this is I think this is like a Luminarc. You can get these if they're really etched and really expensive. I like a heavy glass, but this is one that you can have a scotch and water, a gin and tonic, and it makes a very nice gift. Remember, that's our whole point here tonight. It's not really about the drinking. It's about providing the tools to help other people drink in style. So this is just a tumbler that you can get. You can get them in all shapes, sizes, and forms, whatever it is. Move this out of the way that you want. There is so much glassware available. And I'll tell you what, you don't want to drink cocktails out of a paper cup. So I don't want to overemphasize the need to go get a lot of expensive glassware, but you don't want to be drinking cocktails out of a paper cup. You just don't. If you do, shame on you. I don't like to judge, but that's one time where I'm going to say, no, that's okay. You don't want to do that. So let me move on to our final piece of drinking glass. And that is something called a Cairn glass, which comes from the Scottish Glencairn and the other versions of Scottish. This is that fluted whiskey glass that you have here. You can see I have a lovely substance in here. And the reason this is shaped this way is that this Cairn glass is meant for sipping single malts and good whiskeys to allow, because of the bulbous nature of this glass, it funnels like a good Burgundy wine glass. It funnels the aroma of whatever you have in this glass right to your nose before you even sip it, which only enhances the experience. So if you're not into cocktails and you want to just have, and you have a friend who just wants to sip on some scotch, some whiskey, or some bourbon, this is their glass. You don't want to, you really don't, this is meant to put ice in it, and it kind of, it's too wide, it loses the aroma. This is what you want. And I have some bourbon in here. I'm going to tell you, that bourbon would not be as good out of this glass as it is from there, because you're getting the extra kick of the aroma on your nose from the way that funnels it. It's like a little smokestack right to your nose. Fantastic. I'll do that again. I'm not saying you have to bury your nose in the glass. Believe me, as you lift that to your lips, the aroma is going to come to you, and you won't be sorry. So, whatever type of glassware you want to get, if that's what you think your recipient would like for a gift, go for it. There's all kinds out there. I'm not really going to post a lot about it. I'll post what I think is prevalent for you. The point is, it might be an opportunity for you to go and find a gift for whomever for the holiday. If you want to get a little bit more bold, you can also get this thing called a whiskey decanter. I did a whole spot on wine decanters for you, but you notice this one has a little stopper on it, so you don't have it evaporate, because believe it or not, it'll evaporate on you. But from time to time, and I haven't done it yet, you could store a bottle of brandy in here. You could store a bottle of scotch in here. You could store a bottle, and it's really just for show. It's not going to age anymore or do anything like that. But a whiskey decanter, they're etched like these sometimes. They're simple and plain. I kind of like my decanters very plain. This one's very heavy. It is. It's got a real heavy bottom to it. And it's got a stopper on it that you can put in it. And you can just leave this sit. You can leave it sit in the light. You can leave it sit in heat. It's 90 proof alcohol, most likely, or higher. It's not going to spoil. And it makes a very nice accompaniment to your bar cart or bar area if you happen to have one. So that is another item that you might want to get. So I'd like to move these kind of out of the way and get into another gift purchase idea that might work for you. And this comes down to what I would call just odds and ends. So let's start with one of the things that's important when you are making cocktails is the chilling of them and the addition of ice. And there are on the market these little silicone ice molds. And I'll pull this apart here for you. You can get them in different sizes. And you fill them up with water, put them in your freezer, and then they are ready for you to drop into your drinks. Because just a little tip, one of the things that you don't want to do in your cocktail, and they don't do this a lot, you go to the bar and they throw in all these little ice cubes, and the next thing you know, 10 minutes later, whatever great cocktail you made is so watered down, it's lost its luxury. The best way to do that for when you're making them at home, I hope you don't want to do that at home. I understand that at a bar, because they're not going to do these molds. They're going to reach in for their ice and throw it in there, and it's crushed ice or smaller ice cubes. The larger the ice cube, the less diluted that your drink is going to be over time. It's going to melt, yes. If you take forever to drink it, it's going to be the same as if you just dumped other ice in there. But while you're sipping your cocktail, if your ice cube is larger, there's less, for lack of a better word, less melt of the water to dilute it. And you do want a little dilution, that doesn't hurt it. But the larger the ice cube, the less dilution you have over a specific period of time. So I would highly recommend that if you have somebody that really likes to make cocktails at home, go and get these silicone molds. They're not that expensive. You can pretty much find them anywhere on the internet. So that is another item that I would highly recommend. And I'm going to show you, and I have one here that is bigger. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So let me rip this apart, and I'll take this off here. This has been in the freezer for a couple days now. And if you notice there, it's produced these 4 humongous ice cubes. And I'm going to put this ice cube right in the glass. So you see now, the ice cube fills the glass. So conceivably, I'll just pour a little brandy around it. You wouldn't normally do that. But you could pour that brandy over it, and that brandy is going to chill, but it's not going to be diluted right away. So let's just pretend that's a little scotch in there, okay, or a little bourbon. And you can, that's not bad that way. But I just wanted to do that for demonstration purposes. It makes these, and what you can do with these, you don't have to leave them in this mold. I did them for the purpose of this presentation. You can pop them out and put them in your ice cube tray, and then when your guests come over, you can just pop one into their glass. These are the same type of molds. You can get them in different places on the internet. They're made of silicone. They're fantastic. You can't go wrong with them. If they don't make the ice cubes you want, you rip them open, throw them away. It's just water. But the thing is they make the water into the shape that's important for you to have a wonderful cocktail. So, and then there's also another a glass I forgot that has another silicone mold in it. You can buy these glasses and you can pour your drink. You pull this silicone mold out of it and you have a ready-made chilled ice cube glass in it. And I'm going to use this brandy again as an example. You just pour it in there. Just want to use a little bit. I'm going to burn my bottle of brandy. And it fills this glass. I drink Negronis out of this. I make a big enough Negroni to put in here, and it keeps the Negroni cold the whole time. By the time I'm done with the Negroni, the ice is still there. That's the whole point. It keeps it chilled and keeps it fresh. Because when they start to warm up, they get a little bit bitter. I might have to start drinking my brandy that way. But these you can find anywhere as well. You can get them in round glasses, in square glasses, and you just stick them in your freezer. So those are all of the kind of like glassware and extra items that you can buy for your friends and family for Christmas. Now we're getting toward the end here, and I don't want to leave out the a specialty item here. This is a shaker. Shakers are very important for when you're making cocktails. This one, if you remember last week, I shared with you stuff made by BrüMate, B-R-U-M-A-T-E. They actually make a shaker. And I'll tell you what, shakers are a pain in the rear if you get the wrong one. They're leaking when you're shaking it. This one is leak proof. It's got a wonderful top. You pour it out. It's made of stainless steel. This pops on and off. Not a cheap one. I have not made a bad cocktail out of this one yet. I love to make my Negronis with this. And it actually comes in case you want to store it and have it later with, just like the wine glasses last week, you can make it and put it in here and go out to the beach and pour it when you're ready. So that is a BrüMate cocktail shaker. And the final thing that I want to share with you in terms of paraphernalia, I don't know if you can see it, but this is a bottle that is like one of those bottles that you can do like that. And this one allows you to, it's got a line on it, and it has the perfect mixture of gin. This is a martini bottle. I'm going to hold it out there and hopefully you can see the word martini on that bottle. This is a ready-made martini. You pour your gin in up to this line, you add your vermouth up to that line, shake, and store into the refrigerator. I'm kidding you not. So whenever you want to have a martini, instead of going to all that trouble of having to break this thing out, you got this thing. And you just pour it into the glass. You pour it right into one of these martini glasses. Voila, boom, olives, onions, whatever it is, a twist, and you've got your martini. And they come in a Negroni. So you can do them in different cocktails. I don't know. I'm sure there's one out there that's a Manhattan. I happen to have the one that's a martini because my friends know how much I like a martini. I bought one for a friend who I know loves Negronis. I'm going to have to get that one too. So I hope that kind of rounds out the different things that you might want to buy for your friends in terms of spirits. I didn't realize how long I'm running here, but I guess there really is a lot of options. There are a lot of options for you, and I hope I've been able to share with you some options that will allow you to make someone very happy this Christmas. But before I go, you can also buy them just a bottle of, you just need to know what they like. Vodka, gin, you know the spirits. I don't need to go through all them. If you're watching this blog, you know what I'm talking about. So you just decide, if you just want to make it simple, go buy them a bottle. I would just recommend to you stay away from the bottom of the shelf, and depending on your budget, stay away from the top of the shelf and look right there in the middle. So you can find them all kinds of things. And then if you don't even want to do that, in today's world, just buy them a gift card to the wine and spirit shop in whatever state and area where you shop, and let them figure it out. I'm sure they will appreciate the gesture of you trying to provide them with some spirits, wine, whatever it is they want to buy with them. So we're getting closer to Christmas. Very excited about the holiday this year. It's been a kind of a dark period in our world the last 3 years. I feel like we're finally coming out of all of that, and I can't wait to celebrate the holiday this year. So we will see you again before the Christmas holiday, and I hope everything is going well for you. Get out there and do your shopping, and until then, I'm going to have a little toast for you. As they say, whoo, that one hit me hard. In Ireland, sláinte, and until we meet again, cheers.